Thank you very much for watching or listening today. Liam Hartree here with another episode of Presenting Champions. Today I'm here with Matthew Crawford, known as Big Smile, Street Beefs Super Heavyweight Champion, and Purple Belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA fighter across different promotions as well. So today we're going to be having a chat about his life, his career, how he got into MMA, his mindset, and just a bit of everything. So first thing for me to do, champ, is just to say a big thank you for coming on, and I appreciate you making the time, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you making the time and, working out the time difference and finding a time for us as well, since we're on, different parts of the planet, but, we could still be here together, and I'm happy to have that.
Yeah, likewise. The technology is amazing. I mean, obviously, just after 9 a.m. for you, it's about just after 2 p.m. in the afternoon for me. So it's amazing how technology can bring us together like this. But going back to the beginning of your journey, of your combat sports journey, where did it start for you? Where did you first start training in MMA and, realize that you wanted to become a professional fighter? Where did that dream actually begin for you?
Well, it's pretty interesting. The dream started way before I ever actually started training or competing in MMA. You know, in high school, I was always a wrestler. I was always a very large young man as well. I was pretty much the same size I am now, just a little bit lighter. I was about 6'2", 260 the first day of high school. So as soon as I started wrestling, I was always a UFC fan, and I would watch heavyweight MMA. And even as a teenager, I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Put me in there with them. I'll hang with the best of them. And I've always felt that way. And, I wrestled for a long time. And when I was done with school, I wasn't able to have that competitive outlet. And I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I felt a little bit empty inside for a while until I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And that did the trick for a while. I competed in that. I dove headfirst into that, very, very committed to it. But my intentions were always MMA. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I was looking for an MMA gym, but I found that gym. They let me come in. It was a lot like wrestling. I really enjoyed it, but I always knew in the back of my head it was going to be for MMA. And, after the last couple of years, I finally made the commitment to MMA. And, I'm so glad that I did. It's only been 2 years now, but, went 5-0 in Street Beefs, 2-0 sanctioned in Cagezilla, both first round finishes. Have another fight in about 2 weeks. I'm the number 2 ranked amateur in Virginia now, and I'm hoping after this fight I'll be number 1. So pretty excited about it. Everything's kind of falling in place on my timeline, and I'm in a great spot.
Amazing, amazing. It is incredible to hear about how well the journey's going for you. I've been following your journey for a little while now, and it seems to be going from strength to strength. So, I'm sure that'll continue. Get to the future in a moment, but before we do, talking a little bit about Street Beefs as well. It's a very exciting promotion. It's a little different to a few other promotions, in the way they run things and everything like that. Can you talk to us a little bit about, how you got involved with them and what it's like fighting for them? Because obviously they make a different type of atmosphere, with the events being outdoors and the crowd. I've seen the videos. So can you talk to us a little bit about Street Beefs and anything you'd like to share about it, really?
Sure. It's a great way to gain experience fast because I think my 5-month fights on there were within about 6 months, maybe 5 months. So you can fight as much as you want there, which is really convenient. The sign up process is super easy. You join the Facebook group, you sign up to fight, and you show up and you fight. So it's a lot easier than a lot of these other sanctioned fights. I didn't really have a connection to get a sanctioned fight at the point. So a great way to build your name, get some experience, is to fight through Street Beefs. And it's also, it's a great test. A lot of people think the competition isn't as hard, but I really don't think that's the case. My sanctioned fights have probably been easier than my Street Beefs fights. And you also have to factor in the elements. A lot of people don't consider that, But, I've fought in 95-degree heat. I've also fought in, 28-degree cold. And both of that's Fahrenheit. So I think that's about like a little below 0 Celsius. And I don't know exactly what that is, the higher number Celsius, but it's hot, summertime heat. And, I fought there and the ground is slippery and you can barely step, and every punch you throw you're sliding out because it rained so much the day before. And then I fought where the ground is almost frozen and you slam into it and it's very rough. So there's a lot to factor in, and I really like that about it. It's very raw. You also don't know who you're going to fight until the moment of, a lot of the time, which is a very pure thing about it. And I enjoy it so much. Even though I don't fight there anymore, I still like to go watch, cheer people on, corner them. And, maybe I'll take a grappling match or something there sometime soon.
Yeah. Amazing. Just to give a shout out to them because they're a great promotion. And the last thing about that is obviously when you became the super heavyweight champion, this is just the only other thing I wanted to look back on. When you sort of achieve something like that, 'cause it's still a big achievement, and I know now you're focused on the future, you're focused on the next step. But just taking a moment to look back at that, when you achieved that, what sort of went through your mind, at that time? Because I remember you messaged me and you sent me this message saying I won, first round TKO and all that, and you sent me the video. I don't know if you remember that, but it was very cool. So you were obviously on cloud nine. But when you actually won it, what went through your mind at that time? What was your experience of that?
Well, I was pretty surprised because one of the cool things about Street Beefs is, they do run it themselves. So they kind of can make a quick decision to make you champ and stuff like that. So the actual fight wasn't a title fight. It was just my third fight, but it was also my third quick finish. And, I called somebody out that was supposed to have the title at the end of the fight, but they ended up, giving me the title because the person hadn't fought in a long time. And, I was very surprised in the moment, but it was also something I really wanted. So I was very happy about it. And, I felt I earned it as well by just, finishing all my fights, putting on a good performance, being entertaining. So I was very proud of myself, and I'm excited for all the future belts I will hold as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to that in a moment. The other thing about MMA though is that you've mentioned coming from the wrestling background, jiu-jitsu background, obviously being a purple belt in that as well, and all of your accomplishments there. But when it comes to the striking side of things, I mean, you're pretty much getting people out of there, all over the place, as you mentioned, with some of these quick finishes. So, how did you find it quite easy to adapt to some of the stand-up side of things as well as the ground game? I know you apply both in MMA, and then they both come into it. But with the striking side
Sure.
of things, an easy transition for you?
It's a little bit more of a learning process, but so enjoyable. I mean, the grappling comes a little bit easier because it's always been a language I already understand with the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. But the striking's coming along so great as well, and it can almost be more fun because it's more new to me. But I've always been, the type of athlete where if I commit to something for long enough, I always rise to the top ranks and stuff like that. And my striking's really starting to get there. I move different than a lot of these heavyweights, especially ones as heavy as me. I'm about 280 pounds, but my kicks are really coming along. I can do a spinning, flying kicks. My head kicks are in there now. So I'm really excited to show off a lot of my new skills in this upcoming bout.
Yeah. And let's talk about this upcoming bout as well, because I've been excited to talk to you about that. You mentioned it's coming up very soon in a couple of weeks. For anyone out there that doesn't know, can you walk us through the fight? What you're expecting from it, where it's going to be, and just just anything that you'd like to share about it, really, about this upcoming bout.
Sure, sure. So it's Cagezilla 67, Manassas, Virginia. It's going to be on June 18th. And anyone in Virginia, if you're looking to buy tickets, if you put in code Kaizen, you're going to get $5 off. my gym's going to get credit. So that'll be greatly appreciated. But, it's an exciting fight. It's my most experienced opponent yet. He has, let's see, this will be his 12th MMA fight. So I've been pretty excited to fight a more experienced opponent. I think the result will be the same as usual. I'm hoping to get a first round finish, and I believe that I will. I'm excited about it. My opponent, he seems confident, but I don't know if he believes it himself. He's been talking a little bit, I think, to try and bring his own belief in himself up, but I'm excited to put on a show, take him out of there, and show everybody what I do.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, good luck for that fight as well. I will say, I think the future is very bright for yourself. Last couple of things to get into now before we wrap this up. Just a couple of bigger things. We've talked a little bit about the physical training, and that side of things, but obviously there's the mental side as well. And you always seem very happy, very happy, like you're just enjoying the process. You never seem worried or anything like that. So how do you mentally prepare for competition, like say in fight week or in the immediate build up? I just wanted to touch on this because it's something that other fighters will know about, but fans, like fight fans, won't see this, if you get what I mean. They just see the fight, they don't see like the immediate build up. So in fight week, for any big fight, how are you feeling? Like what's going through your mind on the build up to one of these big shows?
I'm just as happy as ever. I always can't wait to get in there, but there is always, some sort of focus transition where, I'm still myself, but I'm a little bit pulled back from daily life. You know what I mean? I'm with reality, but I'm more focused on the fight, and I can be a little bit pulled away from daily life. My wife will always have to adjust a little bit because I'm just not quite my social self. But that's just me kind of switching over to that other half, preparing for battle. And I do a lot of visualization that week. I always do visualization leading up to the fight. But I picture how I'm gonna win the fight, how I'm gonna finish the fight, and normally what I picture is pretty close to what happens. So I really believe in manifesting these results. And, last week I keep up with the cardio a lot, the game planning, but pulled down some of the physical sparring and stuff like that.
Yeah. Amazing, and it's a really good lesson there as well for other fighters watching this or listening to this about visualization because that is a powerful one. So many different champions have told me that, and I think it's a key ingredient to doing well in the fight game or doing well in anything in life really. So that's a really good lesson. So the last thing really for me to do is because we've talked about the past, we've talked about the future, is just to give a shout out to your supporters, obviously over there in the States, but anywhere around the world. And I think as your profile gets bigger, it'll get more international. But those people that support you, those people that message you and give you words of support, let's give a mention to them. What would you say to your fans and supporters out there, anywhere in the world, but especially in Virginia, watching this? What would be some words for them?
Well, I just greatly appreciate them. Thank you so much for the support, for riding me with me, for the positive vibes. You all are in the right spot. You're going to be able to say you've been following me since day one because I am on the way to the top. I'll be on top of the mountain soon. And, everybody riding with me, I appreciate it. I'm not going to forget y'all. And it'll be cool to journey to the top with all of you. Thank you so much.
Amazing, yeah, amazing words, and 100%. I believe you're on the way to the top. The future is very, very bright, and with everything you're doing now, you're building a really solid foundation to take you right to the top, which is wonderful. So I say good luck for this fight in a couple of weeks now. Good luck for the future. I'll be following your journey all the way as well, personally, and supporting you. But thanks again for your time, with this talk, and as well as everyone in the states. I hope it introduces some more people from different places to your fighting journey as well. So yeah, thank you again for your time, champ. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, Liam. It's been a great time. Everybody out there, keep an eye out for my pro debut. Hoping to make my pro debut maybe in August, maybe sometime this summer after this last amateur fight coming up. So keep an eye out for that. All smiles, all peace until we get in the cage and then we're snatching teeth.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.